Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas. We're proud to help introduce a new generation of adventurers to the diverse experiences that our state has to offer. Information at jlrlv.com.
Today on Outdoor Nevada, did you know that Beatty has world-class mountain bike trails? Well, it does. Beatty is home to a ranch that's making our world a better place. And then, it's out to the Big Dune to witness a natural occurrence that happens nowhere else in the world. All this today. In Beatty, there's a spot that's pretty well known. It's just outside of town off 95, One Boiling Pot Road. It's a quiet place. It's looking to make a lot of noise. Welcome to Spicer Ranch. This ranch is a mountain biking oasis. I always enjoy a good ride, so I ventured out onto the ranch. It was a quick ride before meeting up with the owner, Mr. David Spicer. He's got big plans for not only his ranch and his community, but the entire state of Nevada. And it all starts right here in Beatty.
So you grew up here?
I did.
What was that like?
Wonderful experience. You know, it was freedom, John. It was something that my grandfather had, my father had, generations before me, and I got to experience that same life of agronomy and animal husbandry, agriculture, all the great things that go along with that.
And now you really have an appetite for facilitating a place where people can get outdoors and enjoy, well, biking for one. Do you think that that's because of the way you grew up?
Absolutely, John. I am a product of this land, a product of this community, of this state, this county. You know, there's a sense of responsibility for all that it has given me to give something back. You know, and I look at the possibilities of how to bring goodness back in the community, and I realize that in order to do that, you need economic opportunities, you need to have awareness opportunities, conservation opportunities. I realize that cycling and trails and recreation are a way to bring economic benefits and health in the future to the area.
And so you've got all this, you're offering all this to anybody who has an appetite for it. What does it cost? They want to come out here and do this, what does it cost?
I ask nothing. There's a donation box, and I simply tell people, put something in there and leave behind that represents the fun that you had while you were here. And with that, donations, meager as they may be, sometimes they're grand, sometimes they're not. You know, I don't ask for anything. I just ask for them to have a good time, take care of the place, take care of the land, and open your eyes while you're here.
Tell me about the biking community, particularly the ones that come out here.
Yeah, we've got all the cycling shops in town, some great folks out of Vegas. We've got people coming out of California, people coming from England. Great groups of guys, great groups of girls. Wonderful representation of people that care about themselves and care about this experience.
They're fun to ride with?
Fun to ride with. In fact, I got a bunch of them I want you to meet today, John.
Do you?
I do.
Well, they sound
I love
like
these guys. Well, diverse group of people that are interesting. Yeah, the same vision we have. We find that there's commonality in bike riders and people that use the land. Excitement and passion. And that's the things that we want to stir up. And those are the things we're stirring up, John.
Sounds like my kind of people.
David took me on a quick ride before we met up with the group. These trails are so much fun. I mean, you ride the side of the hill slopes on a gradual climb. Then, it's back down through a series of switchbacks. The plan was to head back further on the trails and through the Beatty Wash. Before we did, we met up with the group.
All right, first of all, how's everybody feeling? Pretty good, right?
Excellent.
Have-
Right.
You bet.
David, let me start with you. Let's talk specifically about the ranch, what it offers in terms of biking. Like, how far can you go? What are the levels of the paths?
We've got, on my ranch, Spicer Ranch, we've got 8 miles of trails we built specifically for mountain biking. Some of those are black diamonds, some are blue, some are green, the different ratings like you'd have in ski resorts, right? From there, there's about 60 miles of existing burro trails out here that we've connected. The burros roll down to water at our ranch down there, and they've made trails for the last 125 years. So we take advantage of those trails. When people come to my ranch, they get out here and ride on the public lands and ride these burros. So about 68, almost 70 miles now is what we've got.
So, David, tell me about this hidden gem that we're in right now.
Right now, you are in Beatty Wash, which is connected with the Petticoat Trail and crossed over by the Ball Bearing Trail and Split Tail Trail. We are about 11 miles from Beatty, up the canyon by an old silica mine, part of the piece of history in the area. Right on the back hill behind us is an industrial minerals deposit that was mined over 100 years ago.
And nobody's out here. I mean, isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. It isn't. That's what's so great about this place. It's so vast and so big. Even if you had 1,000 people out here, it still wouldn't be crowded, John. But yeah, there's not that many. There's lots of opportunities in this area. Geologic opportunities, people see great rock. You've got rock climbing, as you can see, opportunities here. We've got mountain biking. We've got long distance marathon guys coming in here. We've got walkers, joggers, you've got horseback. All sorts of recreational things can occur in this area just by building a great trail system and, having patience and letting it happen. Bringing good things to Southern Nevada.
It really connects people and the things that they love. Hutch, I want to ask you about, if I'm just getting started, where do I begin with equipment and what do I need?
So you want to make sure that you get the proper equipment, like what you mentioned earlier. I have a helmet. Number one, first priority is your safety, because even the most experienced people like myself crash. It happens. And it's usually a silly crash, or you're looking down, or you get a text or something and you just kind of hit a rock, and that protected your dome, right? I would also recommend for some of the less experienced riders, maybe they get elbow pads, knee pads, and then if you do buy a bike, whether it's a new one or a used one, maybe take that to that buddy that's more experienced, or to a local bike shop and have it ran through. Make sure you have all the safety procedures going through, the chains properly tensioned, it's lubed, everything's torqued to spec, you got the proper air pressure in your tires. A lot of little things. It's not too overwhelming, although it may sound that way the way I'm explaining it, but it's super simple. It might sound overwhelming at first, but that's why you need to lean on that friend, that colleague, whoever's getting you into that sport.
Rick, what do you love about riding?
The freedom. It reminds me of being a kid when I got my first bike and the world was huge, the world was beautiful, and get on and go. Nothing to stop you.
Rick, one last question. You've been riding for a long time. What's the age range of people that you've seen come out here?
From teenagers to myself, I'm 62, and my regular riding partner is 74. So all ages, all ages. Fun doesn't stop at any age.
David, let me ask you, what does this biking mean to the community?
Device to make things happen in other communities around us, to spread what we have here to the other small communities in Nevada, to be a catalyst. Well, what good responsible land use is about, demonstration of good trailheads, exceptional trail system that's well signed, it's got access. All these roads you see all intersect every one of our trails. So if we have an accident, you can get emergency vehicles in here. Think about those things. The future is to have beneficial land use for the benefit of the people that live in those towns that are surrounded by public land.
When I hear you talk, it sounds like a spider web of trails, and I guess the idea is that that's going to expand, right?
Certainly, certainly. Any great trail system will have reoccurring loops in it for beginners to go out, intermediate people to go out, professionals to go out, for long riders that want to go out there. All of it needs to connect back to a system to have a good system. Just having spider webs of stuff that splash all over the place is not what you call a world-class trail system. We're unique here because we're the first ones to do this. So we've done a full master plan to put trails together to create just what you talked about, John. Something will create a future and a trail plan that we can become a world-class destination where you can have races and events. It's through those things you can change the future of a community.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction about the immediate future. We're all going riding again. Let's go.
Just down the road from Spicer Ranch is another ranch, the 7J Ranch. Both are working to make the community in Nevada a better place. Like Spicer, 7J is a working cattle ranch. It also is a conservation and education spot. My friend Len, along with the Nature Conservancy, runs the ranch. There's big plans for this place.
This area, there's a lot going on. You got the Amargosa River, you got the Mojave. Tell me about it.
So we're at the 7J Ranch here in Oasis Valley, Beatty, Nevada. And the Nature Conservancy purchased it 2 years ago. And our goals here are to try to learn how to make a beautiful enhancement for wildlife habitat, bird habitat, in combination with grazing.
I can see it. Now you want to build, I mean, you got big plans for this area, don't you? Tell me about them.
We do. Well, we'd like to end up, in the long run, our hopes and dreams are to have a conservation innovation center here, which would be a gathering place for college students to come learn about nature and do science projects. Also artists in residency. This is a wonderful place to have solitude.
Tell me a little bit about the geology of this area and how does it all come together right here?
Well, this is the really beautiful place that's the sort of the north end of the Mojave Desert and combining where the Great Basin. So there's a lot of different vegetation and gradually changing over into a completely different type of habitat.
Tell me real quick about your idea for trees in the area.
Well, we want to plant 100,000 trees along the Amargosa River over the next 3 years, and we got 30,000 done already.
Well, what do you say we do 30,001 right now?
Let's go plant one.
All right.
A hole was drilled, the roots were rolled, the hole was cleared, and the willow was planted. 30,001. Now, they only have 69,999 more to go. And if someone can do it, it's Len.
What kind of birds specifically like these trees?
Well, willows are trees that yellow-breasted chat, yellow warblers, blue grosbeaks, Bell's vireo will nest in willows. All the migrating warblers that come through the area love willows. Here at 7J Ranch, we have beautiful bright orange Bullock's orioles that nest in willows and cottonwoods here.
You know, people come out here and it's a real treat for them to see the diversity of wildlife out here, isn't it?
Yes, they don't get a chance to get out this far. You know, this is a pretty remote area.
It's really amazing what's happening here, and I just don't think enough people know about it. Now, I planted a tree, but what Len is planting, you'd think there was a whole army of people to help him. And there's not. I mean, they're volunteers, and Len definitely appreciates them. But there's one person who needs to be recognized. Her name is Brittany. Brittany's from the south side of Chicago. Through AmeriCorps, she found her way to the Nature Conservancy and Nevada. She has a true passion for the projects happening on the 7J Ranch. Plus, she's working on her PhD here.
Break from the city life is really what got me into wanting to do more things in nature and trying to preserve as much as I can due to the fact that we're becoming more of an urban type of country. And you can see how that wreaking havoc on everything.
Here at 7J, one of the major goals with the planting of the trees is to accommodate the shift in bird migration. With the effects of climate change, the regular route for the birds migrating has shifted, and with the shift, birds are left without a place to rest, fresh water, or nutrients. With the efforts of the Nature Conservancy, Len, Brittany, and the volunteers, in a short period of time, this area will be lush with trees, shrubs, and other foliage. In turn, creating a new and natural spot in the adjusted migration path.
When you look at this and you say, wow, I'm really doing it. I mean, that little girl from Chicago is here and she's doing it. What does that feel like emotionally to you?
It feels like I've accomplished all the goals that I've set so far in such a short time, because I'm only 26, and I've already made an impact as far as I've contributed to the planting of 30,000 trees within like just 2 weeks of me being here. And I have students back at home in Chicago asking me tons of questions because they've heard about my story and just want to be like, well, how can I end up like Brittany? Because that's exactly what I want to do. So that's definitely put so much like love and care in my spirit, because that's just a super proud moment of mine.
Somewhere, maybe on the south side of Chicago or somewhere else, there's a young girl who thinks she's alone in her love for the planet, and maybe your message will reach her, and that's got to feel good.
Oh, definitely.
It's a perfect
Brittany's
world.
belief in the work being done here is not only admirable, it's inspiring. It's a real pleasure to meet her, and I hope more people will follow her lead and take steps towards building a better future for the environment, the wildlife, and us. Now, 7J is a ranch and was originally owned by Hank, a multi-generational rancher. He did sell the ranch to the Nature Conservancy, and he continues to work the ranch and raise the cattle.
You know, I'm sure because this is such a beautiful spot, when you sold this to the Conservancy, you probably had some thoughts like, well, you guys better take care of it. I mean, how have they been doing it? What kind of relationship do you have with them?
They've been really good. They've been really good to work with, and they care about the land as much as I do, so anything needs to be fixed or done, they're good about stepping in and helping me out with it.
There are some people in this world who think that Nevada is just that stretch of highway between LA and Vegas. What would you tell them?
Oh, I'd tell them get off the freeways and get on the back roads and go see what it's really about, because it's a beautiful state. Got a lot to offer.
Well, Hank, this is a blast, but I'll be honest with you, I'd like to take a closer look, maybe see some of the calves.
Yeah, we'll go out through and take a look at the calves and show you some of the feed that they're eating. And
oh, my day just keeps getting better.
Hank took me around and showed me the land and the cows. You know, it's when you make your way around the 7J Ranch you realize how much work this small group of people is doing. The work here is reshaping and helping the world all around us. Take a minute to look into the Nature Conservancy and 7J Ranch. And if you ever want to plant a tree, I know a guy you can talk to.
There are things in Nevada that are known around the world, but there's one thing that's known to just about no one. Now, they say in life, timing is everything, as you shall soon see.
About 2 hours north of Las Vegas, just off the 95 in the Armagosa Valley, is an amazing recreational area, a massive collection of sand mounds appropriately called Big Dune. These dunes cover 5 miles and at the highest point stand 500 feet tall. And most people come out here to ride off-road vehicles, but there's also another group who meet out here once a year for a different reason. Today, I met with Corey from the Bureau of Land Management to learn more about what's going on out here at Big Dune.
What do you do, Corey? Like, what's your job title?
My job title is wildlife biologist for the BLM, and so I work in the Pahrump Field Office, which is like the Nye County part of the Southern Nevada District. And so what I do a lot of time is do like NEPA work. We do a lot of wildlife surveys for snails, beetles, do some bird work too, but a lot of it is like tortoise conservation, because that's like our big endangered species that we have.
Sure is great to walk around an area like this with a biologist. Corey was able to point out so many things I never would have noticed.
Corey, tell me about this area, because it's dramatic, even by Nevada standards.
Yeah, this is Big Dune out in the Armagosa Valley. There's lots of cool areas out here, but the Big Dune is definitely a huge attraction, not only for wildlife lovers, but for the recreation. And these are kind of just big islands of sand out in the middle of the desert.
Something very specific, very exciting, very precise happens here. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so each night from about mid-April to early May, Giuliani dune scarab beetles emerge every evening to mate in order to, pass on their genes to the next generation.
So they literally come up out of the ground.
Yeah.
They go through a mating ritual, and then what happens?
So yeah, once they come up and breed and mate, the females, if they've successfully mated, will bury themselves back into the sand and then just stay in the sand dune laying 1 egg per day for approximately 45 days and until their energy just completely wipes out, and then they die in the sand. But the males, we think, will just come up night after night just looking for more and more females, or at least trying to find a female to successfully breed with.
And then they die as well.
And then, yeah, so they'll just keep coming up until they run out of energy.
And then the next year, the eggs have hatched and they come out, it's their turn.
Yeah, so what's kind of crazy is we aren't totally sure if it's like the females lays an egg and then the pupa will come out the next year, but we think actually is the female will lay an egg, the larva may stay in the sand dune for up to 3 to 4 years, and then pupate and then come up. So the beetles that we're seeing tonight may be 4 or 5 years old. We don't really know.
Does this happen anywhere else?
No, so this is the only place in the world where you can find Giuliani dune scarab beetle, here at Big Dune and at Lava Dune. There's only 2 other species in the genus, and those occur way down south in Southern California and into Mexico.
Now there will be others joining us tonight, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got about 13 other people coming out here from multiple different agencies, from the Park Service, NDOW, Nevada Natural Heritage, and more people from the BLM coming out here to help us conduct surveys so we can figure out what part of the sand dunes these beetles are using, where they're breeding on the sand dunes, so that we know which areas of the sand dunes to conserve.
Amazing. The tension is mounting because it's getting a little bit late. Others are coming in. Let's go set up.
Okay, awesome.
Time was of the essence as the Giuliani beetle is on a pretty tight schedule. The group assembled and Corey took the lead to walk everyone through the details and their responsibilities. The study is well organized and really interesting. Members of the group were assigned a section of an established grid. The grid covered the entire Big Dune area. The team fanned out to their section of the grid, and while in their area, each person would detail the amount of beetles emerging from the sand and how many would be within their grid. Each location with a concentration of beetles would be tagged with GPS coordinates. Corey and I made our way out to our assigned section. It's time to get to work. We carefully walked the area looking for a pocket of activity. When we found one, we settled in. Corey, what is this? What are we looking for?
So right there is a Giuliani beetle getting ready to emerge from the sand. So right now, all that we're seeing is the top of the head with its little antenna sticking up, and all it's doing right now is just waiting for the sun to go down enough for it to think it's like the right lighting conditions for it to emerge from the sand dune for the night and fly off and look for a mate.
And there are hundreds of these in this area.
Yeah, right now. So you see how it's like super well camouflaged, right?
Right.
So right now, there's probably 1,000 of these guys spread out all over these small sand dunes, just waiting for right like 7 o'clock or whenever they think the lighting's right.
It's very still right now, but when the time is right, you'll just see them come alive, come out, and then I guess presumably they all will, and then the party's on.
Exactly. So what'll happen is he or she will emerge from the sand, take off flying, and then all of a sudden you like look around and there'll probably be like 10 or 20 other ones flying around in this area.
So the way that I can help you is to look for more of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's slow. He's just waking up.
The sun continued to set and the beetles continued to reveal themselves. And then it was time. And before you knew it, the sun set and the Giuliani beetles disappeared, back into the sands of the Big Dune.
Corey, I got to tell you, that was phenomenal. I mean, the things I saw, the things I learned, it was incredible. How was it for you?
I think we had a very successful night. I'm really going to be really excited to see what everyone else saw, but just on the small dune we were on, we saw probably over 100 beetles, plus a mass emergence event, which was really cool. We saw multiple mating pairs and mating balls. So to me, it seems like we had a really successful night, and it tells me that we have a pretty healthy population here at the dune, which is really good to see.
Really good to see. Sounds like you got some good data that you can build on.
Oh yeah, definitely. Having you guys here was really awesome, and being able to spread the word and help me out tonight was really great.
How about we see you again next year?
I'll take your help. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Let's go.
Support for Outdoor Nevada comes from Jaguar Land Rover Las Vegas, inspiring the spirit of adventure with confidence in any terrain or condition. Information at jlrlv.com.